Hi, this is Nicole from the Right Habit podcast, and today I want to talk you through the most important details of the 90-day Right Habit Accelerator. We're going to have a conversation about everything you need to know about this program and how it could help you to get a writing project over the finish line. Doors are officially open. There are 5 places available for the early bird discount. I've been having a lot of discovery calls and my calendar is pretty booked, but I think I still have a few spots left that you can see on the website www.writehabitaccelerator.com, and write as in writing. When I was still a PhD student, I was someone who struggled a lot with challenges around procrastination, feeling good enough, thinking, I was at the University of Cambridge, everybody else here knows what they're doing, but I don't, and I did get blocked, and not just once but several times. One year it was really bad. I was not going to the desk. I didn't open my computer. I did go to a lot of conferences and told myself, oh yeah, you're doing all the good things for a PhD student. But really, I was avoiding the writing. I couldn't feel confident to finish it, and I couldn't feel good enough. I couldn't feel worthy. I couldn't feel this feeling that I'll just do my best with what I have. I didn't have that. I had underlying subconscious beliefs that made me feel that I can't do it, that I'm not good enough. While you're listening to this, I just want to tell you one thing that everybody learns and feels deeply in the 90-day program with me. You are not broken. You're not broken, no matter how stuck you are, no matter how many projects have been piling up on your desk. You're not broken. You just haven't found the right way and the right system for yourself. You just haven't unlocked what it is inside of you that is hindering you, what is the pattern that is stopping you. But nothing about you is broken. I just felt like I needed to say that right away. So let's get back to the story. I didn't know that I wasn't broken, and there's something else. I didn't have a coach or a mentor or a guide who says, okay, I believe in you. Here are methods to pull yourself out and pull you towards something beautiful, something that gives you trust, something that gives you confidence to finish it. So this is the thing I had to develop. I had to really rewire my subconscious to be able to go and get to the finish line with my PhD. And that is something that I see with a lot of writers who are blocked. They don't have structure. They don't have time to really go deep into what is the transformation they need to going back to finishing their writing. They know maybe pressure and they know deadlines, external deadlines. Everyone seems to be craving deadlines who talks to me. But taking the time to immerse yourself in a structure for 3 months and learning what you need to learn, changing what you need to change, not just on the surface, yes, that too, but going deeper, seeing what is stuck in your body. Why is your body always getting stressed out when you're sitting down at the desk? Why do you always get brain fog the minute you open the Word document? Why do you say that you're confident, but when you start typing, you criticize every single word? And I'm bringing this to you now in a 12-step process that doesn't just help you heal, but it's meant to help you transform what needs to be transformed layer by layer, but also to see in action that you can do it. Because every week we are also writing together and you will get back into the momentum. And you see that it's working because you start writing again. And you will get to the finish line of maybe an article, a book chapter, a book proposal, whatever it is that you bring. Or you get so deep into it that you finish it. I sometimes have people that finish an article 2 weeks after we have finished the program because they just kept going with the momentum. The other reason that this methodology of the Right Habit is so impactful is that it isn't just a goal-setting exercise. Yes, that too. We will plan, we will set better goals, you will learn how to use the Right Habit Planner, you get it as a gift from me. You will learn how to make a roadmap that really works for your life, and flow habits, all of that, you get all of that, and that is all great. But we are also bringing in mindset work, emotional healing. There have been a lot of sessions where the students became emotional because they realized how long they have carried the burden of thinking that their work isn't good enough. And I'm talking about, let's say, a professor with 20 years of academia, still healing from when a teacher told them in the 2nd grade they aren't a good writer. You cannot think your way out of block. You do need to do an all-around transformation. And then when you're finished and you've finished your project, you will be able to create that life of your dreams, the life of a productive writer who doesn't dread writing anymore, the person who can finish article after article and write new books, the person who loves writing again. A lot of clients say, I didn't remember what it feels like to want to go to my project and start writing on it. Okay, so let's answer the most common questions. What do I get out of the coaching calls? You get 6 calls with me, and I will coach you to plan your writing. We will talk about the training of that week, look through what's holding you up. We will talk through what didn't work last week, and you will have hotspot coaching. You will be able to express your challenge. And as I coach you, everybody else in the room will experience the transformation, and they will immediately make notes on, oh gosh, that is something I'm going to try as well. One client said it's nothing short of magic. If you're listening, Brajesh, that's you who said that. And I love that, because having a coach is not the same as using a planner or reading a self-help book. The second question I usually get in discovery calls is, how do I know that I'm picking the right project? Because most writers don't just have one book or one article on their plate, but they have a lot of competing projects and they don't want to waste the 90 days with me on the wrong one. So there's a lot of anxiety around, how do I know what I can make my priority? And here's how we're going to help you with that in the program. We will make sure that everybody starts with the biggest priority. So I'm pretty sure you have a million things to work on, probably a backlog of 20 articles, or you have 3 book ideas, or you have a mix of all of that. I have not yet had one client who came with only one project. In the beginning, we will put all of this on the table. And there is a methodology that I use to find out which of these is really your priority. Not everybody has to pick the book before doing an article. Not everybody has to submit the book proposal first before writing their grant proposal. For everybody, the highest priority project is tailored to their transformation that they want. The career change, the better chances on the job market, making sure that you're not hiding from the book by pretending something else is more important. Sometimes your nervous system is in such survival state that it's best for you to work with a low-hanging fruit. Sometimes you are neurodivergent and we need to build up certain tasks. We need to stack up the tasks that become your priority in a specific way. So there is never one answer that is correct for you. And for everyone in the room, we are double and triple checking that what you are starting to work with is the thing that is best for you. So it's extremely important to be coached through the process of picking the right project and putting your projects in the right order of priority together with someone who has seen it all and who can have a really good eye on where are you hiding yourself, or where are you pretending, or where is your fear speaking, when really the deepest, most transformational piece of writing that you want to work on over the next 90 days is something completely different. And just imagine the time that you are saving by not jumping on the wrong thing and pushing, only to find out at the end this wasn't actually the project that moved the needle for you, your career, or your life. Here's another interesting question that I often get. How do I learn this whole Write Habit method? It lies in the trainings that are pre-recorded that you can watch at any time and that you will have for life. Every week you're going to get trainings about 7 to 10, 12 minutes long to not overburden you, where you will get a tool on goal setting, a tool of envisioning your future, a tool of changing your mindset around the inner critic, a tool of breaking down procrastination, planning your writing better. So these tools are here to help you heal your relationship with writing and putting very practical things in place to make that happen. All of these are directly applicable to make you write on your project. And here's a typical question I get about the co-writing component. A lot of writers say, I already have a writing group, maybe in your department, maybe with your friends, so I don't actually need co-writing. I have a space where I go and write together, more or less productively. So here I want to say there's a difference between meeting with your friends or going on a retreat versus being in the room with a trained facilitator and everyone from the program who speaks the exact same language, who has all watched the same trainings, who all have been talking throughout the week on the community platform, who know exactly what the goals are, who can check in if you're actually on track with that goal or if you're doing something completely different. We call that the power hour. It's a specific method to help you get into flow with specific prompts that I have developed. And I would say if you already have a writing group, that is fantastic, but also make sure you come to the power hours to up-level it and to see immediately how you can get into flow so much faster. Because the energy in the room, the facilitation that you receive, knowing that this is your cohort, you are all here to get that writing done in that hour, that is going to really tip the needle for you. It not only gives you written words, you will see that word count grow and it'll feel amazing, but we are rewiring your subconscious. The blocks in your body that tell you cannot write or you have to have a whole day to write, no, we're going to rewire that. By doing it together in the group, you are providing evidence to your subconscious that you can do it. You can experience the flow. Okay, so all of that being said, there are other common questions that I get. One of them is, how much time do I have to make for the program? Because most people think I don't have time already. How can I make time for a writing program? You will spend probably 1 or 2 hours per week on the program. And about half an hour is watching the training, making notes on how you want to implement it, planning your writing, and engaging with the others. Some of that is, of course, our coaching or co-writing call. And some of that, and that last bit is very open to you, is the writing itself. This is not a program to learn about writing. Everything in the program, the trainings, the coaching, the power hours, all of this is made for you to go and write, and ideally as much as you can. Now, when we plan your week, we will make sure that you don't overburden yourself, because I don't want you to get into burnout. So you will, within what's possible for you, create time to write. And whatever that is for you, that's the hours that the program will be taking. And I don't want to say taking. It's not taking from you. It's giving you. It's almost like the program is gifting you more time to write because it shows you how to do it. And it gives you the motivation and the joy, that deeper inner connection to the writing, that you want to do it. When are the meetings and what happens if you can't come? The meetings are Fridays at 1 p.m. London time. So I'll make sure that you know that. You'll get weekly emails from me to remind you of everything. You have all the links. You never have to worry about knowing where you're at. I will always put you in the right place in the program. You'll know everything. Fridays at 1 p.m. for an hour. All the meetings are recorded so that you can watch them in your own time. And I do have clients from Australia, New Zealand, and other countries, or people who have children, or they teach a course at that time and they cannot come. I have clients who do the complete program with the online trainings and the recordings, and they engage on the community platform in their own time, and they get their help from me that way. And still, they are successful and publish the thing they wanted to publish. In our online community, you can also put questions. There's a thread for questions and answers. And if you put your question before the call, I can make extra time in the call to give you an answer so that it's recorded and that you have something to go off. And then another question is, of course, the investment. You are investing in yourself, in the dream of getting something published, in your future career, in you, yourself, as someone who wants to transform and heal things like the inner critic, being an author, being someone who regularly publishes. So what is the investment? There is an early bird discount, and you can pay that in full, and you can pay that in 3 installments. And if you scroll down on the website www.writehabitaccelerator.com, you will at the moment see the early bird price. What you can also do, book a discovery call. On the website, there's a button that says apply. Click that button, get on my calendar. This is not a sales call. I will, as a coach, talk to you, see where we can uncover what the problem is and what you're going to be working on in the program in terms of your transformation. and in terms of the project you should be working on, and you will see that I care. I don't run these huge programs where 100 people are in the room. I run relatively small programs because I know how hard it is when you feel alone and lost and you think you can never finish it. I've been there in my PhD. I've been there after my PhD when I was an academic for 10 years. I got blocked again. Luckily, I had my tools, but I still felt alone. Now, this is making me a little bit emotional because being alone with something, a pain that you have, a fear, something that's not working, is really hard. And I'm a person, I care, I nurture all my writers, and I want you to finish that thing, and I'll do my very best with all the tools and everything in the program, all the structure, to help you get to the finish line and to transform, to be that person you want to be. I'm going to leave you with a short excerpt of an interview with Claire Ben, an academic at Cambridge University who has gone through the 90-day Accelerator twice now. And she's going to tell you exactly why she signed up, why the program was different than she thought, and one tip for you if you're unsure if you want to join, how she made her decision to come into the program. So here's what Claire said.
I've been so stuck with my writing for such a long time, and carving out time initially was the first big barrier. So it's like, if I sign up for this and I have made a commitment to somebody else, that is going to mean that I'm spending the time doing this, because I had something in the calendar that was unmovable, that was uncancelable, that I had to show up for. And then the other part of it was being more concrete. That was so helpful. The first thing that we did, you made me list out all the projects I had on the go, and I think I had 7 unfinished papers. And you were like, well, that's crazy. We should maybe pick maybe a maximum.
I remember that. Yep.
But actually, when I listed them all out, I realized, nobody could make good progress on 7 things at the same time. So narrowing it down was really important. And the other big thing that the program really helped me with was that I was carrying around with me a lot of hang-ups, and I don't know if shame is too big a word, but things were hanging over me. Here is the set of papers that have been finished for 4 years that I have failed to get published. All they do is get rejected and all that sort of thing. And so by being really pragmatic in that course, picking some, working on them and saying, right, this is the one I'm going to get it over the line. And these are the ones I'm actually going to let go of. So one of the papers during that 90 days was one I said, this is not salvageable. I tried to make it work for years, and actually there's a big problem at the heart of it, and I don't really want to fix it. And I am not someone who lets go of stuff like that very easily. I put so much of my heart and soul into it, but I realized that it was a massive opportunity cost. And so I let it go. And it really just got me unstuck. And so I have now, bar one paper, one paper left, have got rid of the backlog of things that I was previously working on. And so now that I've got through that backlog, I really have had the opportunity to write some new things. So, in the last 12 months, then I have written 2 new papers, like things that started in the last 12 months and have finished in the last 12 months. And I think that I really needed that to get through that whole big menacing looming pile of things that I felt that I had kind of failed at.
Okay, Claire, so tell me, since you've been in the program, what's changed since then?
So really, I felt unstuck. That was the main thing. I really feel like I look forward to it. I make the time for it. It's been fun. So some practical things that came out of the course that I have then since implemented is that I keep my mornings free as much as I can. And that's been really big. Making the time has been the absolute key, because without that, you really can't get anything else done. And that's why I want to do the program again, because like the times I spent in the program, sort of 1 hour a week we had with the coaching and the power hours we had, that was the only time I had to write. Whereas this time, I'm hoping for a little bit of time outside of that as well to dedicate to getting some research done. And the other big thing is I now give myself much more sensible deadlines. So we did that exercise as part of the course where you were saying, so how many free days do you have? And I counted and I was like, oh, I think I have 10 in the next 3 months. I was like, oh, so my idea that I'd get 3 papers finished is crazy. There's no way that's going to happen. So I had to really readjust.
To someone listening and thinking about joining the 90-day Accelerator, but maybe they're on the fence, if this is for them, is there something you would be able to explain to them or a tip you might give them?
For me, when I was thinking about it, then I really asked myself the question is like, is what I'm doing now working? And if the answer is no, I mean, for me, the answer was really no. It really wasn't working. I felt like I thought that I knew what the answer was already. Like I was like, oh, I know all the good advice about writing. So like, what can this really give me? Is this going to tell me anything new that I haven't heard before? But it was the actual practice of doing it that made the difference. You can read a book and it can tell you all the right things. So to have something where you actually do show up for that time every single week, and it's long enough, because if you actually kind of do an online course or something for a couple of hours here or there, you don't actually get to do the practice of showing up, doing the writing, really admitting the things that were hard, really taking the time to reflect. And that was really the big thing for me, was actually I needed to be made to turn up and do those things and do them over and over again, not just for a week and not just for a month, but a good 3 months to let those habits really bed in and to allow the changes that unfolded for me in terms of my writing and my relationship to writing to kind of come to their natural new equilibrium.
So I hope that is helpful. If there are more questions, book a discovery call or read all the information on www.writehabitaccelerator.com.